All right. Yo, what's up, guys? Zephyr. Just want to make a video on explaining where I think are some of the best plants and what plants you shouldn't do unless you're, struggling for time. But when you're planting, I think it's good to plant for like along some sort of surface, right? You could plant anywhere. Like this would be like decent, but I don't know. The reason why I say that is because when you plant in a corner, for example, you're taking away like that big circle when you diffuse, right? Which makes it harder for the enemy to diffuse because they're restricted by space. Also, if you plant in corners, like wherever, here, wherever, on B site, um, mollies tend to spread a lot. So, right, if you planted here, for example, right, I'm not gonna plant it, but the fuse circle is roughly like this, right? So that means they can only diffuse like that. But if they're sticking it in the corner, they can get wall banged, they can get peaked from here, they can get peaked from here, they can get peaked from here. You want to always plant, keep in mind, many multiple angles. You don't want to cut yourself off unless you're lurking, or it's good to take into consideration beforehand if your teammate is lurking and you're like, oh yeah, my teammate's lurking, so I should maybe plant for here, or maybe try and plant like to the side of here, because it's still safe to plant from here, but it depends. This is also a very good spot to plant, many angles. um, but yeah, for B side, anywhere around this box. And when it comes to planning out in the open, if you're struggling for time, let's say there's like, I don't know, 10 seconds left and you're trying to get onto site real quick, you kind of have to stick it. So that's, you can't really do anything about that. You want to try and guarantee the round. But I would say anywhere that touches a surface. So anywhere along this, anywhere there's a wall, and it depends. Sometimes there's not a, well, there's a wall here, but I think this is a good place to plant, just because of you're open to a market, you're open to CT, you're open to that, you're open up to those two angles, and so if you're cheeky about it, you can even plant behind his, or you can play behind his box, and it's usually very rare that people clear this, but yeah, and then anywhere around this, I wouldn't prioritize planting out in the open, and always make sure you face the wall. So if you're trying to plant in the corner, don't plant away from the corner. Plant into the corner, That applies. Just face the direction that you want to plant. Because if you face away, there's a little gap, which allows for accessibility. Actually, here I wouldn't plant, now that I've realized, because you can jump on the box. I think the surface, maybe even here, I actually never tried, but if you plant here, you might be able to defuse it from the upper box, but I'm not too sure. You definitely don't want to plant here because this terrain is a bit lower, or this box elevates the height. And yeah, anywhere here on Ascent. And then also for a site, I'm gonna try to hurry this video up. But yeah, this is a good plant. I would say this can be a good plant because it's safe. You're only exposed to A main. This is assuming you're under like struggle conditions. This is a good plant. That's a good plant. That's a good plant. This can be a good plant, but I don't like this one because let's say your teammates are all A main or you're getting killjoy with it. It's not good. This is probably the best. You literally you don't want to go too forward because then it elevates them, if they diffuse by a bit, which can interfere. Because when people ping, you'll be aiming like crouch level, right? And if it elevates, you're not hitting the head, right? So yeah, I would plant here. This is good. There, just pretty much anywhere where there's like open plants I don't like, because I'm playing Brimstone typically, and I want something to bank my molly off, right? If I'm A main and I'm smoked off, right, and someone pings right there, if you're not a good like person with mollies, that hitting that spot is tough, right? Like, let's say you ping, like, I don't know. Hold on. Let's say that it's planted for under hell, and you're trying to do a lineup. See, sometimes that might occur, and you're like, oh shit, well, I just lost 8 seconds of freedom. You get killed, and they won the round, right? This is a good plant. This can actually be a very good plant, I've noticed here. If you have a Sova on your team with ultimate, I would actually ult here because they wouldn't run forward. They would prioritize running back here. And if you angle the ult, it should guarantee a hit unless it's Jet and she can updraft or raise. But yeah, I would say anywhere along this generator is good. The front of it, the side of it. This can be a good plant here in the corner, but you know, you have no exposure. You can only get peek from heaven and from cat. Aiming is too far, so if someone's trapped there, mollied off, smoked, it's just not a good plant. You can always plant here too. This is a good spot because you could just bank it off the wall. But yeah, I don't like this plant either. This is a bad plant. Any other plants? Yeah, anywhere along this wall I would say is pretty decent because you're exposed to heaven, hell, gen. You know, if you're trying to plant safe, here is good, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna be doing other maps too and explaining where you should and shouldn't plant, but yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe. Y'all have a good night and take care.